Welcome back, Tiger sports fans. I'm Jack Woods.
And I'm Taylor Richardson. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of TSN. But without further ado, let's get into the action.
Women's golf finished third this past weekend at the Illinois Wesleyan Fall Classic. The 6th-ranked Tigers shot a .630 over the two-day tournament, including a 4-stroke improvement on the Sunday. Anna Foley led the team with a third-place finish as she recorded a 148, and every Tiger placed 58th or better in the 91-player field. DePauw will head to Danville this weekend to finish their season at the Dan Quayle Collegiate Classic.
The men's golf team came home with a 6th-place finish at the Benedictine Midwest Invitational with a score of 623. The Tigers' deep squad saw all players end their weekend with no more than a 9-stroke gap between their first and 5th golfers. Nick Burris led the team with a 153 as the Tigers will look to keep this weekend as they Mississippi for their second-to-last tournament of the fall.
Congratulations to Nick Burris. Football traveled to Central Iowa on Saturday as they lost a tough one by a score of 45-19. Oh, wow. After scoring first and holding a 13-0 lead, the Tigers fell flat and allowed Central Iowa to score on its last 4 possessions of the half. A second-half comeback attempt was thwarted, and DePauw took its first loss of the season. They'll look to rebound this Saturday as they travel to Kenyon for their first conference matchup of the year. Good luck, boys.
The men's and women's cross-country teams were off this weekend. However, senior Cole Martin was voted the NCAC Runner of the Week last week, his first time winning this award. Both teams will be close to home in Terre Haute on Saturday, facing off against some of the top talent in Division I, II, and III.
Volleyball won 3 of 4 games this weekend during their first tournament of the year. After taking their first game against Whitman in straight sets, the Tigers fell flat in their final game against Aurora, losing 3-1. However, DePauw had the perfect rebound, beating both Elmhurst and Alma in 3 sets and coming away from the tournament with a 6-4 record on the year. Morgan Steerley was named to the all-tournament team, and DePauw will be back home on Saturday for matches against Hanover and Muskingum.
We are starting a new weekly segment this year titled Eye of the Tiger. Christian Bradford is on the court.
What's up, Tiger fans? I'm Christian Bradford, here for week 1 of TNC's new segment titled Eye of the Tiger. Here, we will be meeting with DePauw finest athletes each week to gain insight on what it's like playing through the eyes of a D3 athlete. Today, I'm at the volleyball court where sophomore libero Jenna Puricha will be showing me how things are done on the court for Division III defensive player. Let's get things started. Here is the talented sophomore Jenna Puricha. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling good. I just got out of practice, so I'm doing pretty well.
That's great. Now, before we start, what is your favorite pump-up song?
I'd have to say Jump Around by House of Pain.
Jump up and get down.
Considering that you're about to teach me how to play, what are the 3 most important things I should know as a volleyball player?
Number 1, always give your best effort. Number 2, always be on your toes. And number 3, cheer really loud when you get a point.
Okay, let's get started.
No matter where the ball goes, you always want to try your hardest to get it up. You always want to be down and ready on your toes. You always want to cheer really loud when your teammate gets a point. When we get a block, this is what we do. I think you're ready to play.
Okay. I played volleyball in 6th grade. Thank you, Jenna, for teaching me how to play today. Do you think I can make the team next season?
You could try. We have tryouts in August.
Okay. That's it for today's segment. Back to you at the sports desk.
Thank you, Christian. I'm looking forward to next week's segment.
As am I, Jack. Women's soccer is now 3-4 on the year after going 2-1. This past week, after blanking Franklin and winning 3-0, they traveled back home to host the DePauw Challenge Cup. A hard-fought game against 10th-ranked Wash U saw the Tigers come up short. Despite Rihanna Steitler's 7 first-half saves, DePauw lost 4-1, but came back strong with a 4-0 victory against Wisconsin Whitewater. Junior Alex Windit came away with the hat trick, and DePauw finished the tournament on a high note. The Tigers will be back in action on Saturday as they face Aurora away from home.
Men's soccer has been on a tear as of late as they extended their winning streak to 4 games on Saturday with a 5-1 win against Manchester. During the win streak, the men only allowed 1 goal and have scored 23. Jay Klein and Quinn Flasspooler have each 4 goals during that span, leading the team in that category. The Tigers have also only allowed 7 shots in the 4 wins, a testament to their outstanding defense during that span.
Great job on the men's soccer team. Our own Jack Crain caught up with the head coach Brad Hauter to talk about their great plays as of late.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with Brad Hauter, head coach of DePauw's men's soccer team. Your team is off to a 4-game winning streak so far this year and is ranked 2nd in the conference. What has worked well for this season?
I tell you, I think the buy-in. We've got great leadership. Nick Carlson, Sam Kramer, Jay Klein have done a great job of establishing the culture, a winning culture. Got off to a rough start, lost our first match, but then from that point on, there's been a different kind of creativity in the way that we attack, and a lot of it is due to the presence of those guys.
A lot of leadership in the senior class?
It's really incredible. I think when you look at captains, sometimes the title is what separates guys as far as leaders. But when you look at this senior class, Jake Brady, Gustavo Casmanis, those guys, and even a couple guys in the junior and sophomore class are stepping up, and just we've got really good character guys. We've got good leadership from within.
That's great to hear. How do you all intend to continue to move this momentum forward?
That's a great question. One of the difficult things is trying to keep that focus throughout the whole season. There's attention to detail. There's all these little things that need to be done. There's a lot of repetitive stuff just to keep guys sharp. And so there's a constant addressing of don't lose focus, stay clicked in. And sometimes when you have these winning streaks and sometimes when the team is doing well, you get guys who can get distracted a little bit. So we're really going to rely on the leadership and the long-range focus of these seniors who are looking to cement their legacy and making sure that they can keep everybody mentally clicked in.
That's big. That's big. So after this hot start, what is required from you and your team to bring home a conference championship in November?
Discipline. We get into conference play in about 10 days, and it heats up at that point because every game has an additional meaning than just a win or a loss or a draw. It has points which will get you into the conference tournament and help you to advance to the national tournament. And so at that point, it's handling the pressure, handling the successes, handling the failure, and really being locked in on what that big goal is. It's trying to pull points in every game to give us the best chance to be in the Final Four in the conference.
That's great to hear. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Back to Jack and Taylor in the studio.
Thank you, Jack, and thank you to Coach Hauter for taking the time to meet with us. The men will look to extend their streak tonight against Rose Holman.
The men's tennis team was at home this past weekend for their inaugural tournament of the season. The men placed first out of all the teams as sophomore Wyatt Metzger led the team, winning all 6 of his matches. Each Tiger won at least one match over the 2-day tournament, boding well for the coming season. They will be back in action in 2 weeks as they travel to Kalamazoo on October 4th.
Women's tennis was in Indianapolis this weekend for the Indiana Interdivisional Invitational. Although no scores were recorded, the meet was a good benchmark as the women continue their fall season. They return to the court next weekend to close out their fall season in Kalamazoo.
Thank you for tuning in and staying up to date with everything DePauw Athletics. Make sure you catch us on Facebook,
Instagram,
and YouTube.
We'll see you next weekend. As always, Roll Tigs.